the next puppet we are going to be talking about is Bobby. He actually didn't want to be interviewed today, but here he is, and he's gorgeous. And here to speak about Bobby is Carmen. But when I first started at Cart Horse, I remember it was the first horse that I actually went to confiscate with our equine welfare practitioners, where Rick and I just started. And it was actually horrific to see the state that he was actually in. He was emaciated. He was standing in a filthy, dirty stable with rocks, no water, no food, rocks and manure all over the floor, no soft beds. And we confiscated him immediately. And so he is very, very special to me in my heart, and to see how far he's come. And that was about 4.5 years ago. So this is obviously how long he's been here. So also another very, very sad story, but that's why the R&R is here, because of horses that need a safe place to come to and to be rehabilitated, and mind, body, and soul. But Carmen has been working here for about, how long have you been working at R&R?
February will be 2 years.
2 years.
Mm.
Oh wow, okay.
Yes.
Time flies.
When you're having fun.
Yes. But now you know all these horses and their personalities. What can you tell us? What is so interesting or special, or any quirks about Bobby?
Yeah, Bobby. Yeah, very inquisitive. Inquisitively naughty, I would say.
That's what I hear about him.
But it's that fun naughty. It's not the
malicious naughty.
No. He's just a bag of fun. Or very aware, very inquisitive. I have put him in this paddock just for the geldings, to sort of just teach him, guide him a little bit. He does think he's a 19 hand stallion.
He's got a bit of an ego.
Yeah, but he's very sweet. He's very gentle. He's very loving, very intelligent, like they all are. But he is. Yeah, that's the two words that come to mind: inquisitively naughty.
And tell me, how old do you know more or less what he's?
Yeah,
maybe we should ask Diana.
Obviously, we can't be 100% on the ages, but he's about 8, 9.
Yeah. Bobby's about 8, 9 years old.
But as you can see, he's just very inquisitive, which is lovely.
He still looks like a youngster.
Yeah. Yes. And he acts like a youngster.
He does.
Yeah. Acts like a young soul, and that's always lovely, to have the energy that he has.
Yeah. Well, you're spot on, Carmen. We've just confirmed by Inspector Diana he's about 8, 9, 10 years old, and not spot on, but average is difficult to tell the ages of the horses. But he is gorgeous, and is special, and I'm so glad Emmanuel was able to catch him. So you could meet him, and I'm sure he's enjoying the attention. And Emmanuel, what is Bobby like to work with? Is he as naughty as everybody says he is?
No, this one, when we working with this one for grooming time, this one is no problem. Good.
No problem.
No problem, because she like to pick up food by herself to cleaning properly. This one is no problem. Even before he was like it pulling. When you come into food like this one, then he was pulling, no fighting, but just pulling to learning. But now just standing properly, waiting nicely like this one. And also in outside the paddock, now you find a friend, you see Spartan, you play together.
Spartan is
a friend, but you have a little bit of problem with another inspector that is chasing. But when you stay closer to Spartan, you're not learning. Yeah, because he's a friend, but this one's a nice one.
Okay.
Yes.
Emmanuel, thank you so very much. There we go. This is Bobby, one of the naughty ones, but as you can see, he's just mischievous, not in a bad way. Very, very sweet, easy to work with, easy to be groomed, and once again, one of our horses that we look after at our Recovery and Rehabilitation Centre. And as I said, when we found Bobby, my first conversation, he was absolutely emaciated, and look at him now, different horse, happy personality. He's really, really come 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 a long way. And that's what we do here at the Recovery and Rehabilitation Centre. We give these horses a safe and warm and loving environment just to thrive with their real personalities coming through so they can eventually find their forever home. But while we have them here, we need your donations. Pledge, donate 50 Rand, 100 Rand, 10,000 Rand. We really need your donations. So come on, folks, as Philippa was saying, dig deep and donate. Marika's going to tell you, yes.
We've just had a donation from Sally Manderson of 3,005 Rand.
Oh my goodness, Sally! That's amazing! Guys, another 3,000 Rand donation! Woo! Awesome. Thank you, Sally. Oh my goodness. You've made, wow, that's incredible. So where are we at?
Yes.
Where are we at for the leaderboard?
I haven't added in the 3,000 Rand yet, but somewhere around 26,000 Rand now.
26,000 Rand so far, folks.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Keep those donations coming in. Please, please, we need your support. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Looks like Bobby's having a snooze here with us under the tree with me, shouting so loudly with our donations coming in. But we're going to go back to the studio, and Marika's going to tell us Rocket's short story, and then sorry, we'll be back with Inspector.
Okay.
Back to you, Marika.
Karen says it's a short story, but Rocket actually has quite a long story. I hope I'm unmuted. Yes, I am. Oh, that's a relief. Rocket was signed over to Cart Horse in 2010, and he was the first horse to be rehomed through our recovery, through our own adoption program. So before that, we had to make use of the RSPC of the SPCA, and so he was the first horse that was rehomed in our own adoption program. He had initially flagged up on CHPA's radar following a report of abuse. When our inspectors arrived there, they were appalled at his condition. Aside from being underweight and in a general poor state, it was immediately apparent that Rocket was suffering considerable pain from radiating from an acute hindquarter injury. Without any negotiation, he was immediately removed from the owner, and he was relocated to the safety of the rehabilitation center, where he subsequently received the required veterinary care and attention to aid him in his road to recovery. In April 2011, he was adopted, and I'm going to read you a little letter that we received from his adopter. In April 2011, some friends and I decided to give a rescued cart pony a second chance at a new life. We went out to meet Rocket at the Furland Center, and all fell in love immediately. The plan was for him to be gelded and come to live at my friend's stable yard, where I would train him for riding. Long term, we were hoping he would make a lovely child's pony. He had not had an easy start to life and had trouble trusting people. After some time together, we formed a very close bond and worked well together. His training took longer than expected, and he never did find the right child. He did teach us all a lot and had many fans throughout the years. In the end, he became a foster fail, and I couldn't part with him. With help from many people over the years, he turned into the most amazing pony. He led many a scared horse out hacking, he taught people to ride, and my personal proudest moment was him leading the evacuation of horses from our yard to safety during a fire in 2015. He walked straight through the busy traffic and past fire trucks with sirens to lead the way for the others. He now lives a quiet life at home with me and my other horses. Looking back through our 8 years together, I couldn't imagine life without my cart pony. So that just goes to show they seem to not end up being child's ponies a lot of the time, but there are others that are perfect child's ponies despite all of the trauma that they went through. But we are here today to get donations. We are trying to raise 300,000 Rand for the support and care of these abused and neglected horses at our Recovery and Rehabilitation Center in Gordons Bay. If you want to donate through SnapScan, that to me is the easiest. You either snap the QR code or you go into the app, go to donate, search for Cart Horse and donate 50, 100,000 Rand. Anything we will greatly appreciate. If you can't donate today, then please send a WhatsApp to 079 513 4098 and pledge whatever amount you can donate at a later stage.
We are back. Our cameraman's back. Everybody needs a little bit of a break. It's been a marathon today. And thank you so much for those donations. Keep them coming, please. We really, really do need your support for these special horses. And this is Inspector, and Melody is and Ashley is gonna speak about Inspector, and George is his groom. Ashley, what can you tell us about Inspector? He's got a bit of a history with us.
Yes, hi, it's me again. Inspector was a young horse. He used to belong to an owner called Melton September. In those years, he was 2 years old, too young on the road. We catch him, so we took him away. And after a while, we educate the owner, and we gave him back to the owner. Shortly after that, the owner shell him on to a different owner where he actually just stand and work now and then with him. So, all those times when he was standing, when they tried to put him back in the cart, he was fighting with the cart, kick the cart, fight the drivers and all those things. So they've asked us to get a new owner for him, which we get a new owner, Leroy de Villiers. And Leroy de Villiers was the guy buying off Mr. Usher. So eventually end up with Leroy de Villiers, and he became a better horse. We also gelded him. We put his shoes on. He was behaving much better after he was with Mr. Leroy de Villiers. And the inspector will explain you now what happened at Mr. Leroy de Villiers with the horse.
Like you just heard, Ashley was saying that when they first confiscated, Inspector was only 2 years old. So ideally with the cart horses, we ask the owners to not work the horses before they're 3 years old. So reason for that is to allow their legs, their bones to really grow strong. But like Inspector, who started working at the age of 2. So by the time when Inspector got to Leroy de Villiers, because he started working at the early age, he already developed some leg problems. It wasn't very worse, but the longer he worked, it started to get worse. So at one point, while he was at Leroy, there was conversations taking place with Leroy about looking after Inspector's legs. The Inspector can't work every day. Inspector can't work too far. Inspector can't work 7 days a week. There was endless talks with the owner regarding his legs. And then one afternoon, one of our inspectors got a call from law enforcement. But now before the injury, the law enforcement was called in. What happened also was that we first had a vet in to check Inspector's legs because we were worried about him. And he was also seen by a chiro practitioner. And when at the time when she sees him, there was problems with his back. That he had like a banana bow back, and his legs already had problems. So he was booked off, and then he was standing for a couple of weeks, and then later on they put him back into the car, and that was the day when the law enforcement called one of our inspector sisters to complained about Inspector being at the scrapyard in Epping. I think it was in the news. It was all over the newspapers about this cart horse with the transformer. The transformer was worth 1.2 million or something like that. It with the overloaded transformer on the car. So when Judith went out, he found that it was inspecting the car. Taking in consideration the his legs at the time of him being in the car, the chiropractitioner's report, the vet's report, and also the day when he was in the scrapyard, his condition was not acceptable for to be put in a court. So that was the day when he was basically the owner said, instead of taking my horse to a safe place, law enforcement confiscating my horse, he rather asked Carter to take the horse. So the case took for about over a year. And then what happened when criminal cases take place, it's normally the Carters is then the place of safety. They have to pay for the time while the horse is standing at the rehabilitation center. And then when the owner came out of prison and the case was then, we don't know what really happened. Not that we don't know what happened to the case, but for some other reason, the charges against the owner was withdrawn and we wanted Inspector back. So he had to pay for the over the year that the inspector was standing at the recovery and rehabilitation center and he couldn't afford the money and then he decided to sign Inspector over. So yeah, that is Inspector's story. And then also Inspector was gathered here at the recovery and rehabilitation center because of his behavior. Like Ashley said earlier, he was biting, he was kicking. At the time when he came to the recovery and rehabilitation center, he had all the horses running around here.
Thank you so much, Melanie. It's an amazing, amazing story. This poor puppet. Excuse me, George. What has your experience been like with them to manage and to groom and to look after?
Instructor is good now, Mari. Before was not good. I was biting. The time was a stallion.
Yes.
Biting, pretty bulldogs every day. Mari now is coming down.
Okay.
It's good now. We are grooming, no problem. Time to get another horses. The time was stand alone, was like to fighting. Biting, took the pose.
Was he an angry horse?
Yes, yes.
And he's clearly changed, done 100% turn.
Yes.
You can handle him, you can groom him. Yes, he stands still. You, like I said, also clearly have a gift, and you enjoy working with him. And does he have a special friend?
His friend is Spartan.
He's Spartan. He also
don't like a Bobby.
He doesn't like Bobby.
Yes.
Well, Bobby's naughty. They must keep Bobby in check. They must teach him.
Spartan and Miriam.
And Miriam. Yes.